Hi, Reverend Phil here. We're going to discuss Ray Buckland's book, The Complete Book of Witchcraft. Starting in Chapter 1, History and the Philosophy of Witchcraft. Now, before getting into what witchcraft is, perhaps we should take a look back at what it was, the history of it. In the late Dr. Margaret Murray traced back and saw that witchcraft's origins are Paleolithic times, 25,000 years ago. She saw it was more or less a broken line through the present and a fully organized religion throughout Western Europe for centuries before Christianity. Her theories are still respected in circles of witchcraft. The original witches thought of two main deities, a horned god, the god of the hunt, and the goddess, the mother goddess of fertility. Those were the two prime things that were important in those days. Christianity took the horned god and turned it into their devil, of course. To start a new religion, you have to have a bad guy, and our God became the bad guy. The mother goddess has just been forgotten in Christianity, but we're bringing her back in the old religions. Now, in the back of this chapter are some questions. Let's get into some of these questions. Which two deities were most important to man's existence? Like I said, the god of the hunt and the mother goddess of the fertility. What is a sympathetic magic? Sympathetic magic is, well, it's magic that's done when you're dressed in costume. If you put on a horned hood and take the role of the god of the hunt, that's sympathetic magic. Where did Pope Gregory build the early churches and why? Pope Gregory was one that built the churches of Christianity in the temples where the pagans used to practice their worship. That way, as he thought, the pagans would come then, there, and worship Christianity. Instead, he used pagan people to build the churches, and they incorporated certain pagan rituals into the churches, certain markings, certain symbols, different things like that, and still practiced their own religions. Who or what was Jack of the Green? Jack of the Green is another name for the horned god. What was the witch's hammer and who was responsible for it? The witch's hammer is also known as the Malleus Maleficarum. It's a very powerful book that was written by, let's see, I should have put the page number down. Two famous German monks, Heinrich Insitorus Kramer and Jacob Springer, produced their incredible concoction of anti-witchery, the Malleus Maleficarum, or the Witch's Hammer. This book was written in the late 1400s. It caused a lot of problems. It brought about most of the witch persecution in modern day Europe and America. Who was the anthropologist Egyptianist who in 1930s advanced the theory that witchcraft had an organized religion? That was Margaret Murray. A very powerful lady, very beautiful lady. When was the last law against witchcraft repealed in England? That would have been in 1951. Who was the first witch to speak up for the craft in England and in America? In England, it was Gardner. Gerald Gardner. Sometimes referred to as the father of Wicca. In America, it was Ray Buckland himself, because he had learned from Gardner and other places and brought it to America, opened it up to the public. What is a witch's only animosity towards Christianity and other religions or philosophies? That's simple. Witches don't like the fact that the Christians and other philosophies say they're the only way to get to eternity, whatever it is, whatever the afterlife is, heaven, hell, another life on earth, whatever you think it is. Christians think they're the only way to get there, and that's not true. There were ways to get there thousands of years before Christianity was ever a dream. And last but not least, do you have to belong to a coven to be able to work a spell? Magic is in everybody. Magic is in everything. To work a spell, you simply need to use your mind, your intentions, and your thoughts. So, covens, they work together and they build more energy and stronger spells, yes, but you don't have to be in a coven to work a spell. And that ends this chapter. Blessed be.